Welcome back, guys. We're continuing on with these Mechabellum replays, and this is an interesting battle because the opponent decides to play the way that I used to play all the time, which is maining with arc lights, and I've only ever lost once when maining with arc lights. And so it's an incredibly difficult thing to counter. So I'm not going to spoil whether I manage to counter it or not, but I'll say that it's a challenging game and nothing more. So I am continuing on with the giant play style, because in this latest patch they've made giants a little bit better than they used to be. So I never really used them that much in the past. I only ever used them as a counter and not as a main, which I was really trying to push. So on this latest patch I am maining giants quite a lot just to get a bit of experience with them. See if I can learn what they're good with or at and what they're not so good at. So I've got crawlers, mustangs and giant specialist. I'm bringing in some fangs, and the opponent has got fangs, steel balls with elite specialist, and they are bringing in an elite level 2 arc light. So my particular comp is obviously lots of very small units, which is probably what pushed the opponent to main arc lights. But we've managed to get through to the tower. Elite Specialist is always one of them that starts off slow and then picks up momentum around round 3, 4, 5. So we'll have a fairly easy time in rounds 1, 2, but things are going to get considerably harder as the rounds progress. And extended range arc light has shown its face, which is another reason why they probably decided to main arc lights. It is one of the two best arc light upgrades, the other one being intelligent arc light, where they level up twice as fast. And I can't decide whether to go for it or not, because I had not intended to play arc lights at all during this battle. But I gave in to temptation and I took it anyway. I thought even if I only deploy a couple, they might be able to get some work done, even if I'm not intending on actually maining with them. They're still a really good swarm dealer. Swarm, what's the word? Counter, that's the one. So I'm just using them to try and deal with the enemy fangs. So the opponent has brought in 2 more level 2 arc lights, so as you can see they are going to start picking up momentum really quickly. Straight away you can see the impact that these level 2 arc lights are having. And they are already taking over the battle in round 2. So that is mainly because of the extended range arc light reinforcement, but elite specialist is pretty decent anyway with arc lights, so it's not necessarily just because of the reinforcement card. So I'm trying to decide what is going to be the best course of action here. All three of the first abilities were decent ones. I'm not a massive fan of the photon emission. It's okay, but I'd rather have a unit on the field or a bomb that kills loads of the enemy units than use the photon emission. So I decided to go for the Wasp Swarm, because at the moment the only anti-air that they've got is the Fangs, so I should be able to take out the tower unless they reinforce the side. And I'm starting to bring in some Giants, so because they haven't got much in the way of anti-air, I decided to go for the Overlord. So originally I had thought about going for a fortress here, and I have left enough space to put a fortress in front of the Overlord. But it's obviously a bit dangerous putting them so close, if I was going to put a fortress in front, because of the orbital strike call-in. If it shows its face, can basically wipe out 2 giants in one ability. So I decided to go for a bit of a counter. It's only a bluff, it's not really a counter, it's just to delay these Arclights a little bit. See if it can help my units deal with this left side. But it only delayed them for a short while, but it was long enough for us to take out this right tower before they reach our left tower. So it did help, but I don't know whether it's gonna... Oh, then again, they haven't got any anti-air, so it will win us the battle. But they are going to take out this tower as well. But we are also taking out their tower. So far, it is a very close battle. But the Arclights are going to pick up steam and become a serious problem to contend with. And parasitic ammo has shown its face, and this is a incredibly difficult item to combat. Now, I'm trying to decide whether to go for it or not. He locked it in immediately as soon as he saw it. But the way I see it is, Arclights are the perfect counter to parasitic ammo. So I decide not to bother going for it. Just because the Arclights would kill the spawned crawlers almost instantly. But I haven't got a very good counter to it. So this item is going to prove very challenging for me to deal with. And I'll try and show you the impact that it has. Basically, my overlords are going to be constantly shooting at the parasites rather than at the enemy units. So if you watch them here, as soon as he starts shooting, these overlords are now turning around and shooting at parasites over here, which has made a massive impact to the battle. And they brought in the sniper, which is dealing with our overlords. So just that one item, that parasite ammo, has really changed the direction that this round has gone in. And this Arclight is levelling up. He's already at level 3. So the more he levels up, the more challenging it's going to be to deal with this parasite ammo Arclight. So they win that round. It is now 2 rounds apiece. They are slightly ahead on the hit points. Now, I love Deployment Specialist, but when you're going for Giants, you don't really get much use out of it. And obviously I'm trying to main Giants, So I decided to go for the incendiary bomb instead. And I want to try and kill this parasite arc light as fast as possible. And at the same time take out the sniper, as that is the main threat to my overlords. And now I decide to bring in the fortresses, just to try and get the enemy sniper locked onto a high HP unit. I was assuming they were going to put a sniper over here as well, but it doesn't look like they're doing so. So this fortress is doing a good job absorbing all of the shots, letting everybody else get in. Unfortunately, all my crawlers are going to die to the incendiary bomb that I dropped, but it was worth the trade. So the incendiary bomb pretty much won us that round. This fortress managed to stay alive on a tiny little bit of hit points, which gave us an extra 400 damage. And there's a couple of decent options here, Tech Specialist and Haste Module. So I probably should have gone for the Haste Module, as the items are really good on the Giants, but I decided to go for Tech Specialist just to save a bit of extra supply. Don't know whether that was the right decision or not, but that's what I went for. So he's put the Haste Module on the Arc Light, so that's going to be doing considerable damage. So it looks like I've decided to bring in some Stormcrawlers, I think. Well, I unlocked the Stormcrawlers, but I don't think I've got enough cash. Oh, sorry, that's him. He's the one that's bringing in the Stormcrawlers. My bad. Sorry about that. So it looks like I'm going for snipers to see if I can outrange the arc lights. Now, without a range upgrade, they're not going to. But the snipers do have the electric shot ability as well, which will shut down all of the arc lights abilities. So if I can get them leveled up, not leveled up but teched up, then they will do a good job at reducing the damage or the capabilities of the arc lights. But as you can see now, the arc lights are starting to run rampant through my lines, and this one's so leveled up that he can tank an entire Overlord barrage and stay alive. So things are looking very, very tense at the moment. The battle's on a knife edge, basically. It could go either way. So I need something to try and turn the battle, so I decide to go for the mobilized battleship. I've got the Wasp Swarm ready to go as well, so I've got two units to call in on this round. So I put the battleship over here, the Overlord, and I put the Wasp Swarm over here, just to try and get the sniper targeting that. But I've got a feeling he's going to target the battleship, so I don't think that's going to work. So because this parasite ammo is the main problem at the moment, I decided to bring in a couple of Mustangs to quickly kill off the parasites, the crawlers that spawn. Because at the moment it's making my overlords waste all of their shots shooting at these parasites rather than going forward and actually doing something useful. So I bring in a couple of Mustangs and I decide to go for Stormcrawlers. Stormcrawlers are going to outrange the enemy arc lights, so although he has actually got 210 range now, so unless I buy the range upgrade on the Stormcrawlers, it still hasn't got as much range as the enemy arc lights. So as you can see, the arc lights scale really, really well when they start getting levels and tech. So unfortunately, bringing in the Mustangs did not help with the parasites. It helps, but I'm still wasting Overlord shots on them. But they are doing a good job at dealing with the fangs, which has meant that everybody else can target the arc lights. And bringing in the 2 call-ins also helped to distract the enemy away from this push, which let me take the tower. So this round goes to me, and is that enough to win? It is. So we managed to win against Arclight Main, which is an incredibly tough challenge, but I think I took all the right choices. This parasite ammo was a real pain in the arse to deal with, but setting up on the front line really helped me. If I'd have gone for a standard backline setup rather than a frontline setup, then I think things would have gone very differently, because they would have outranged me by almost double the range of my units. 110 for an Overlord versus 210 for this Arclight. So they would have basically slaughtered everything before I got into range. If I started here, by the time I walked up to here, I would have lost half of my army. So yeah, setting up on the front line really did win me the battle, basically. But obviously you don't know what the opponent's going to decide to do, so you don't know whether setting up on the front line is a good idea or not. And setting up on the front line can be easily countered if the opponent knows what they're doing. So I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a perfect strategy, setting up on the front line, because if the opponent brings in exploding rhinos, then they can quite easily do a lot of damage. I think the best thing to do if the opponent brings exploding rhinos is to put shields up over your backline units. Not the backline, but these ones here. So if there's a fortress here in front of these units here, the rhino will come in and fight the front line units and then explode and kill all of these. But if you put a shield here, then the shield will be the thing that takes the damage from the rhino and not your actual units. So I think that's your only real hope against exploding rhinos, because if they take photon coating, then you can't electromagnetic shot them. And if they get a hacker module, an anti-hack module, you can't hack them either. Even if you did hack them, they can just blow up the exploding rhino once you've hacked it, so it'll still kill all of your men. So I think your only hope if they take exploding rhinos is to set your own shield up. But that's something for another battle, and it's something I haven't really experimented with. It's just theory crafting at the moment. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the battle. It's a very challenging one, and I was very happy to actually succeed in beating the Arclight main. So join me again in the next one. We'll see what that one holds. So cheers for watching, take care, and I shall see you soon.